Hey guys, the Common Man here. So today we're going to be taking a look at the CJRB Pyrite. This is going to be their premium version in titanium. It's got this carbon fiber as well as this beautiful Damascus blade. So I've already done an initial video on this guy. I did, I believe it was like an unboxing. I've been carrying it a fair amount, and I definitely know enough about the knife, and I've carried it enough to be able to give certainly a final review on this guy. So again, this is going to be the premium version of the CJRB Pyrite, which is this guy right here, which I just absolutely love. This thing I think is one of the best, if not the best, budget knife you can get, and certainly my favorite budget knife that I've picked up as of now. And you know, it just made sense for me to go ahead and get the premium version of it, just because I loved this so much. Now this version is an ARRPM 9. It's going to have steel liners, obviously a button lock, and these gray G10 scales. So obviously the difference is going to be the blade steel, the handle material being titanium, and then it's got this beautiful carbon fiber inlay. And you'll see there's a other little differences here and there. So we'll be doing kind of a comparison to sort of show you the differences. So if you have one of these, maybe I can help you decide if one of these would be right for you. So we'll go ahead and start with the blade. So I am generally not a Damascus fan. I wouldn't say this has necessarily changed my mind, to be honest with you. It's a very, very cool look on this blade. It's very unique, and it's certainly something that's a little bit fancier. I still just don't think Damascus is quite my thing. Maybe it'll grow on me in the future, but yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence about it. But you know, you can't deny that it looks very cool, and there's no doubt that takes some pretty impressive metal work to get it to look this way, and basically just have that beautiful kind of uniform finish. Blade geometry is going to be pretty much the same as this guy. It's going to be very, very thin behind the edge. It cuts beautifully well. The edge is done just exceptionally well. And the cool thing is, this isn't done by like a different manufacturer. It's still CJRB. I believe CJRB is owned by Artisan Cutlery, which does generally, under that brand name, make kind of higher end knives. But they kept this guy under the CJRB name, which I think is pretty cool. So you do get a couple of options. You could buy the less expensive one, or stick with the same exact brand and just get the more expensive premium version. So kind of cool that they did that. But yeah, I mean, the blade is great. The edges are knocked down quite nicely. Nice jimping up in here. Thumb stud positioning is perfect out of the cutting path. You can see that this forward choil doubles as a sharpening choil, and it's done very well. You'll get a ton of life out of that. And this came very, very sharp out of the box, just like my other Pyrite. It's just done exceptionally well. Billboarding is also to a minimum. Just CJRB on this side. And then on this side, you've got the, it just says Damascus, and then some small lettering. I'm guessing that's like the model number. And then you can see this is actually a limited run. It's number 120 out of 500. So kind of cool, limited production. You can see that the mechanism, the locking mechanism, is going to be exactly the same. And I actually think that they kind of just shared components. It looks like all of the hardware is pretty much the same. The buttons the same. All of the locking mechanisms, the lock, what do you call this? The backstop. The lock operates exactly the same. But I will say that there is a slightly different feel in this guy, and I think it all comes down to those titanium handles. It just gives it more of a, you can hear it. It's got kind of like a ring to it. Can you hear that ring? Let's see if I can get it near the microphone. So you can hear that ring, whereas this guy has much more of a thud. And like I said, I think that's that G10 over the steel versus the just the straight titanium. So kind of cool. Definitely gives a different sound. As far as the feel goes, you know, this guy is going to be contoured titanium, which does actually feel a little bit nicer in the hand. This is very, very comfortable, but you can kind of feel those steel liners. You can feel the G10 scales. Just a little bit more going on this handle, whereas this is much more smooth and kind of rounded off. And I'm telling you what, the ergonomics on these guys, that's one thing that just absolutely sold me on this knife, is the ergonomics. It is so comfortable. Whether you put your hand back here, you choke up on it, you use that forward choil. No matter where your hands are, it is exceptionally comfortable, and it just feels like a precision tool. I don't know what it is. It's the blade shape, it's the handle shape, it's the way that you can choke up on it, have your thumb just above your pointer finger. It feels like a precision tool. and the premium version is just no exception. I don't love the fact that the carbon fiber inlay is only on the show side. I do wish that they had like a matching, something to kind of match it over on the pocket clip side. It's not the end of the world, but I do generally like symmetry on my knives, so it's kind of a bummer they decided to only put that on one side. And then another thing to note is that pocket clip is not reversible. So pocket clip, basically, this is only for a right-hand carry, so that's kind of another downside. You can see you do have a lanyard hole just like on the original one, and it is out of the way of everything. The pocket clip is, it's not moving out of the way for that lanyard hole, so that's very good. And this is also only a shallow carry pocket clip. This is not going to be a deep carry pocket clip. It does carry fairly deep, but you can see your pocket's going to be right about there. You'll have about that much sticking out of your pocket, whereas on this guy, this is about as deep as it gets. You have nothing sticking out of the pocket. So this is a very deep carry pocket clip. So you could, I think you might be able to, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say it for sure, but you might be able to put one of these deep carries on here. But, it's kind of a bummer that you'd be getting rid of the what I assume is a titanium pocket clip. Overall, I've really been happy with this. I think it looks very, very good. Like I said, it functions just like the original budget version, and it's kind of funny saying that the premium version is as good as the budget version. That's kind of a funny thing to say, but in all honesty, in this case, if the premium version is as good as the budget version, yeah, that's fine, because that one is just so exceptional. And then, of course, the materials are just going to be a little bit nicer. Now, the one thing that I do not care for about this knife, something that I really kind of think they dropped the ball on, especially considering this guy is like $200, or at least it was when it was available. I don't think it's available any longer. But yeah, $200. Now, I traded for this guy, so I didn't spend the full $200. I traded a knife of roughly equal value. But it's kind of pricey, and the thing is, for that price, you'd expect everything to be done pretty much perfect. But unfortunately, this inlay leaves a bit to be desired, and I will show you what's going on here. So unfortunately, there's a little bit of there's some gaps. There's a small gap there, a little bit of a gap down there, and then up top, it just doesn't fit perfect in that cutout. And then the other thing is, it is not level. This carbon fiber is just kind of wavy and wonky. It kind of goes all over the place. It's not flat. It doesn't match up flush with the edges of the titanium. There's a bit of a dip here. The carbon fiber is actually a little bit tall here, and it's just kind of all over the place. So it's not really done all that well, in my opinion. I really think they could have done a better job with this inlay. So that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, overall, I think that this is a great knife. I don't know if I'd necessarily pay the $200 for it, given the carbon fiber isn't done that well, and the fact it's only on one side. I don't know. I guess that's for you to decide. I'm glad I traded for it, is all I'm going to say. I'm glad I didn't drop the $200 for it. But that being the case, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a cool knife. It'll probably stick around for a while. I'm not sure how long, but I do want to carry it some more because I have enjoyed carrying it. And it's just a nice kind of, I don't know, gentleman's folder, I guess, kind of a nicer occasion folder with that Damascus and the cool carbon fiber. It just looks good. But anyway, guys, that's my opinion. I think it's a pretty good knife overall. I'd recommend it if you're interested in a more premium version of the Pyrite. And I certainly recommend the budget version. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Let me know what you guys think of this if you have one. I'd like to hear from you all. And if you want to see more of my knife and EDC tool content, please consider subscribing. Thanks.